can start with the movies first,
Yeah.
and go ahead and get Black Widow out of the way before we go with our normal list. So with this movie,
it's not worth $30.
Well, it's not worth the $30, but honestly, if we think about it, it's what we would have been spending at the movies if we would have went. So
yeah, but it's the first movie of the new phase.
Yes. So with this movie being the first phase, it's also this movie also takes place right after Captain America: Civil War. Like it's literally right after the everything that happened.
My impression of this movie, which I know a lot of people agree, is just that it's like a too little, too late kind of movie for me. Because I know the COVID, complicated everything, and there's nothing that could have been done about that. But like, this movie definitely needed to come out on the original day it should have, just because of the time process that was going on through that time. Because it wasn't that far from Endgame, and a lot of people were still grieving over Endgame, so the movie would have solidified that grief. But since now we're 2 years later, a lot of people don't give a shit anymore. So, that's really where the problem. This movie just falls flat. A lot of people just don't give a shit anymore because it's just been far too long.
Yeah, all this movie was just. I talk about him a lot. My Marvel expert, I was watching with him, and he fucking flipped a table when he saw Taskmaster. And
I know, I did too. You can even ask Ghost.
Yeah.
My God, he went on a rant. I
don't blame him. So with Taskmaster, what I was more annoyed about is that it didn't follow the actual character of Taskmaster. Which I get with this not being towards the actual comics, but they implicate the comics a lot. I get there's going to be changes.
But this felt like a huge change though. It might as well be like a completely different character though. That's the problem. It probably should not have been Taskmaster in the first place. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah. So
they could have made a completely new character that did not have to be Taskmaster, and the same results would probably the results would have been the same goddamn thing.
Well, yeah, but it's just with this with Taskmaster, he was a person that made tasks for the heroes at the same time of being a person that can analyze you, look at you, and be able to do the exact goddamn thing that you do. That's who Taskmaster is.
Yes, and then this Taskmaster is just a soulless, robotic fucking Taskmaster that doesn't talk and just like a mirror.
Because it's his daughter.
Well, yeah, but even then, he was controlling her so much that she didn't even have the free will and be like, yeah, Dad, I really want to help you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what most revenges are that we see is that if it's a son or daughter, instead of the father taking control, usually the kids are like, hey, I see what you see. Out of loyalty and love, I am going to follow you regardless of how wrong it could be.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. This was completely, I'm taking control of you, and that's it.
All this movie was to me was just fucking promoting. What's the other guy's hero name?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye's new TV show. That's all that was meant for.
I mean, I want to know about. I don't know if that that was the whole purpose of the movie,
but that's all it felt like.
It's definitely going to help to that because we're about to get his movie, which is probably also going to implicate his daughter becoming a hero too.
Movie?
No, he's doing
his TV show. Sorry, his TV show to where his daughter also is going to be implicated as a hero like Hawkeye. With this movie overall, it was just really to really summarize this movie. It was just a backstory of Black Widow. Everything she went through as a kid to the point that she's at now, the differences that she had to go through with her feelings and everything because she became a hero instead of a spy assassin and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, my rating on this.
Everyone gives it a 6. That's its official rating.
Okay, that's its official rating. My personal, I would give it a 7. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. The time, yes, it should have came out when it should have, but due to everything that happened in this forsaken world because of people's choices, unfortunately, it came out when it did. I'm just happy that it's still showing this character Valentine and who she is possibly.
Yeah.
And how she's going to play a part in the Marvel Universe. I kind of liked this movie because it was a little different from what we're constantly dealing with. But that's just me personally. And then for me, with the action, it wasn't
The action was the only thing
fight,
that
stop,
stuck.
talk, fight some more. This was like straight action. There was no pauses in the fighting.
Yeah.
From what I can see, there was really no mistakes on the choreographing. It was literally hands-on, hit for hit kind of thing. Sorry. I gotta bring that up because your Dark Knight Rises was just terrible.
I know.
Wait, what?
Dark Knight Rises,
Yeah.
a lot of the fighting, there was a lot of mistakes,
Yeah.
and it showed in the final cut. But that was just due to choreographing, laziness, and just trying to put out a movie instead of taking it serious, saying, hey, it's not ready, pushing it back, and actually making sure everything was on point. But I'm done. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
You're good. I say I give it a 6. It was really the fighting that made me stick with it. God, the story was so boring.
You could, honestly, if you watch this, you could literally skip the first 5 minutes in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, you could literally go straight to where her character's in the restroom talking to General Isaac? Or Isaac? Fuck, I don't remember. Talking to the general that takes super people to the prison.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the movie, now that you mentioned that and I reviewed the whole movie, yeah, the whole flashback montage and the past, if you have removed that, some scenes later on would have been better, because it falls back into the saying, don't tell
too much.
Not don't tell too much. It's like oh my god
Yes.
don't show too much. Or no, I'm thinking of another saying. The concept is like that you don't need to show everything so that everything gets to explain. Like what I'm referring to is when they were having the family reunion, and Yelena, was it the sister Yelena, how she was getting emotional about if it was real or fake to them and now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reimagine that scene if we didn't watch the beginning. Just how different that would have been.
Well, it would have had more of an impact, and then you could have had like very few snippets of showing the flashback, which would have played it a little bit better into the story.
Yes, it's just moments like that you can actually appreciate better when you don't know much. But no, they had to show practically everything about them.
Yeah, but this movie could have been done better. As of what it is what it is. It is to the Marvel story.
There's something I should remind you on before I forget. How they tricked y'all about Taskmaster being a woman. They used a male as a stunt double and all of the trailers.
Well, I kind of figured that.
Yeah, and that pretty much did not go over well on the internet.
Of course. But even if you look at the suit, besides what was probably CGI'd, which I'm 95% sure that's what happened, the outfit doesn't play out as a female.
Yeah.
Like, you could, just the way the figure was, you could tell it was a dude.
Yeah.
But watch this movie. If you want to spend the $30, spend it. If you want to go to the theaters
Or wait till October 6th.
Just go to the theaters, or as Weekly said, just wait until the DVD comes out. It's probably what I would have done, but
not just the DVD. It's going to be free on Disney in October.
Okay, well, so it'd be free if you don't want to spend the $30, which a good majority of everyone does anyways.
Yeah.
What's the next Marvel movie? Is it really Spider-Man for the next Marvel movie?
I think so. I would have to double check, and we'll let you all know on the Facebook page.
That sounds about right.
The next movie we will be watching for next week's show is Space Jam 2 because it comes out tomorrow. It will be on HBO Max if you have an HBO Max account, or movie theaters. Take your girlfriend out. Take your wife. Go with your family.
Or take your senpai.
But we'll have that for next week. Next Marvel movie is more than likely Spider-Man, but we'll double check just so we're giving you all the right information.
The schedule's messed up.
I kind of want to say Venom, but it's not technically like.
I think that got delayed, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
No, it's actually releasing when it's supposed to, but technically Venom,
but like
as we know right now, is not really part of the MCU unless they actually went with the idea of showing Spider-Man.
Not yet.
In it.
Not yet. The director's already been talking about how they can already put in the MCU in it.
Yeah, so if they implicate Spider-Man, the current Spider-Man, I can't remember the actor's name. I'm not going to try and... Yeah, so if they implicate him, they can tie Venom into the MCU, which I would prefer because there's a lot of things that happen with Venom that needs to actually happen within the story. That's my put on it. I would like to see it. I'm pretty sure there's hundreds of Marvel fans that would see it, maybe thousands, millions. Would like to see Venom be part of it, especially this Venom.
The correct Venom.
The correct Venom, but the spider still needs to show up. You can't truly have Venom without the white spider. So that's the only thing I'm hoping that shows up here soon. But that's it for movies.